Hello students, welcome back to my channel. Today let us explore a new concept in our study of nouns, that is gender. You already know that living beings are either male or female. In grammar, we apply this idea to nouns too. Gender tells us whether a noun refers to a male or a female being. A noun that refers to a male person or animal is said to be of the masculine gender. Examples: boy, king, lion, actor. But a noun that refers to a female person or animal is said to be of the feminine gender. Examples: girl, queen, lioness, and actress. Look at the examples on your screen. Boy is masculine and girl is feminine. Similarly, lion is masculine and lioness is feminine. Notice how sometimes the feminine form is created by adding a suffix like ess to the masculine noun. For example, lion, lion, but lioness, that is lioness. So here ess has been added and the feminine form is formed. Okay, we will explore more of these patterns as we go on. Now we already understand the basic idea of male and female genders. Let's expand our view. In English, nouns are actually classified into 4 genders. First, the masculine gender. This refers to a noun that denotes to a male person or animal. Example: boy, lion, king, uncle. Second, the feminine gender. This refers to a noun that denotes a female person or animal. For examples: girl, lioness, king, aunt. Third, we have the common gender. This is an important category. A noun is of the common gender when it can refer to either a male or a female. There are often general roles or relationships. For example, parent, child, student, doctor, friend. The word teacher, for instance, does not tell us if the person is male or female. It is common to both. Hence, it is called common gender. And fourth, the neuter gender. This refers to nouns that denote things that are neither male nor female. These are usually non-living objects, places, or concepts. For example, book, pen, room, table, happiness. So to summarize, masculine for males, feminine for females, common for both, and neuter for non-living things. Understanding these 4 categories helps us to use pronouns correctly and describe the world more accurately. Clear? Now let's proceed to the next slide. Now let's look at clear examples to distinguish between common gender and neuter gender. Look at the screen. On one side we have common gender. Remember, nouns of common gender can refer to either a male or a female. These are often words for people in general roles or relationships. Look at the list: parent, child, friend, pupil, servant, thief, enemy, cousin, person, orphan, student, baby, monarch, neighbor, infant. For example, a student could be a boy or a girl. A neighbor could be a man or a woman. These nouns are common to both. On the other side, we have neuter gender. Just look at the other side on the screen. As the definition tells us, neuter means neither, that is, neither male nor female. These nouns denote lifeless things, objects, or places. Look at the examples: book, pen, room, tree. A book is not male or female. We cannot say that. A room is not at all male or female. They are neuter. Clear? So the key difference is this: common gender nouns are of living beings. They may be either a male or a female. But neuter gender nouns are for non-living beings. They are neither male nor female. Now let's go to the next slide. Now let us explore personification. In literature and in everyday speech, we often give life to lifeless things. This is called personification. Here we speak of objects or ideas as if they were living beings. Clear? And when we do this, we assign them a gender. We treat them as male or female based on the qualities they represent. Let us go for some examples. Traditionally, we use the masculine gender for things that symbolize strength, power, or violence. For example, the sun in his glory. We do not use your heart. Rather, the sun is masculine here. Similarly, time with his relentless march. Here also we use his instead of her because time has been treated as masculine. Death and his cold grasp. Here also you find his and not her. Okay. Even summer and winter are often thought of as mighty male forces in literature. On the other hand, we use the feminine gender for things that embody beauty, gentleness, and abstract virtues. For example, the moon casting her gentle light. Here her has been used instead of his. That means moon has been treated here as feminine. Similarly, spring in her floral dress. Here also we treat spring as feminine. Nature and her beauty. Ideals like liberty, justice, mercy, peace, hope, and charity are always represented as she or as feminine gender. So, personification is not about grammar rules, but about the heart and imagination of language. Now, let's see personification through classic examples. First, the masculine. The sun sheds his beams on rich and poor alike. Here, the sun is not a non-living being. It is a powerful and generous king. He impartially bestows light and warmth on everyone. Now, the feminine. The moon has hidden her face behind a cloud. The moon becomes a shy woman, veiling herself from view. Let's go for another example. Spring has spread her mantle of green over the earth. Here, spring is an artist or a queen. And finally, peace hath her victories no less renowned than war. Here, peace is personified as a noble feminine figure whose triumphs are just as glorious as those won in battle. It is a powerful poetic idea. So, in each case, a simple it becomes a he or a she. It transforms description into drama and abstract ideas into relatable characters. This is the enduring power of personification in our language. Clear? Now let's proceed to the next slide. Now let us discuss how the feminine gender is formed in English. Look at the examples on your screen. From bachelor, the feminine becomes maid or spinster. From boy, we get girl. From brother, we have sister. Now look at the animal pairs. A buck is a male deer, but a doe is a female deer. A bull or ox is male, but a cow is female. A cock is a male chicken, but a hen is a female. A dog is male, but a bitch is female. And a drake is a male dog, but a dog itself often refers to the female. We need to remember these pairs, okay? Now let's look at a very common pattern for forming the feminine gender by adding a syllable to the masculine form. The most frequent suffix used is ess. Look at the examples on your screen. You can see how the masculine word is directly transformed. From author, we add ess to form authoress. From baron, we get baroness. From count, we get countess. This pattern continues clearly. Giant becomes giantess, hare becomes heiress, host becomes hostess, and we have already seen lion becomes lioness. While ess is the most common, other feminine forming suffixes you might encounter include ine, that is hero, heroine, and trix, that is aviator, aviatrix, and as an administrator and administratix. Though these are less common in modern English. This method shows language being logical and creative, taking a known masculine word and adding it to specify the feminine counterpart. It is a productive and elegant way to build your vocabulary. Now let's go to the next slide. Now let's explore the pattern of forming feminine nouns by adding the suffix ess and its variations. This method is very productive, but notice that sometimes the masculine word changes slightly before we add the feminine ending. Okay? Look at the list on your screen. Actor becomes actress. Just look at the spelling here. Here we drop the OR and add RESS. Similarly, benefactor becomes benefactress. and conductor becomes conductress. Sometimes we change er to ress, as in hunter to huntress. In other case, we simply replace a final vowel with ess. Negro becomes negress, abbot becomes abbess, duke becomes duchess. Here the core idea remains the same. We start with the masculine noun and modify it, most often with the suffix ess. It creates the feminine form, and this pattern helps us to expand our vocabulary systematically. Okay, now let's move on to the next slide. Now let's solidify our understanding with a few more examples of feminine forms ending in ess. Notice how the masculine noun sometimes shortens or changes its spelling slightly before the suffix is added. This is a common feature of word formation in English. Look at the examples on the screen. Emperor becomes empress. The OR is dropped here. Prince becomes princess. We simply add SS. Tiger becomes tigress. The ER changes to RESS. Waiter becomes waitress. Again, ER becomes RESS. Now look at these two, where the change is a bit more distinct. Master becomes mistress. Here the root vowel changes and we add TRESS. Okay? Murderer becomes murderess. The ER ending is replaced by ERESS. So while the pattern of adding ESS is consistent, the base word may vary. The key is to recognize the relationship. The feminine form is built upon the masculine form, clearly marking the distinction in gender for roles, titles, and animals. Clear? Now let's go to the next slide. Now let's look at some feminine forms that use suffixes other than ess. Look at the pairs on your screen. First, from hero, we get heroine. Here the suffix ine is used to denote the female counterpart. It gives us a word that sounds distinct and noble. Next, from testator, a person who makes a will, we get testatrix. This uses the classical suffix trix to indicate the feminine form. It is often found in formal or legal language. Then comes Tsar, a Russian emperor. We get Tsarina. The suffix in is added, which is common to Slavic language and titles. From Sultan, a Muslim ruler, we get Sultana. Here the feminine is formed by simply adding a common gender marker in many languages. And finally, a classic example of an entirely different word. From fox, the masculine, we get Bhiksen for the feminine. This is a unique pair. These examples show us that while ESS is a very common tool, English also draws from other languages and traditions to create feminine forms. It enriches our vocabulary with variety and history. Okay, now let's go to the next slide. Now let's explore another common method for forming the feminine gender by placing a different word before or after the common part of a compound noun. This happens when we have a compound word, a noun made of two parts, and we change one of those parts to indicate gender. Look at the examples on your screen. We have pairs like grandfather and grandmother. The father part changes to mother. Manservant and maidservant, the man part changes to maid. Landlord and landlady, the lord part changes to lady. Milkman and milkwomen, here man becomes women. Peacock and peahen, the cock, meaning the male bird, changes to hen. Salesman and saleswomen, again man is replaced by women. In each case, the second part of the compound, like father, servant, lord, is gender neutral or common. It is the first part that specifies the gender. Okay, this method is very transparent and easy to understand. And now let's bring it all together with a clear summary of gender formation. In this lesson, we have learned that there are three main ways to form feminine nouns from their masculine counterpart. First, use a completely different word. The classic example is brother and sister. Second, add a suffix to the masculine form. This is the most common and productive rule. The main suffix is ess, as in author and authoress. We also saw other suffixes like ine, hero and heroine, and tricks like testator and testatrix. Third, change a part of the compound word. For nouns made of two words, we replace the gender-specific part. For instance, grandfather becomes grandmother by changing father to mother. These three strategies give you the tools to understand and use grammatical gender correctly, whether you are reading a story, studying history, or simply building your vocabulary. Recognition of these patterns will make your English more precise and expressive. Okay? Now, this is the end of this episode. Finally, thanks for watching. Kindly consider subscribing my channel. I will come with new and informative videos like this in each episode. Do your work, believe in God, and stay positive.